Welcome back my kings and queens. My name is MPix, and if you want to take your 3D car models from this to this, then you're completely right at this video right here. The first way of doing it would be the Solidify method. For this, let's go ahead and select the car body and press numpad / to only focus on the car body. Let's also go ahead and open up some reference images so that we can go ahead and see where we need to go ahead and add in these car panel gaps, and most likely we can also go ahead and see this on the blueprint itself. Now let's add in a car panel gap for the front door in the first place. If we take a look on the reference image right here, we can see that the gap starts all the way right here, goes down, then to the right and then all the way up again. And if we take a look on the blueprint, we can also see the lines that we need to follow to add in the car panel gap. And if we're going to take a look on the blueprint with the topology that we have, we can see that we already have some edges on the blueprint lines. So this will make our life really easy right here. So now go ahead and with the reference image and the blueprint, select all of the vertices that are exactly on the blueprint line where the car panel gap needs to be. So in this case, all of these vertices right here. And as you know, in the next step, need to go ahead and select the complete door. We can make this quite easily by pressing H to hide off the outline vertices. Then select the rest of the vertices of the door by pressing L of one vertex to select all of the linked ones. And then press Alt and H to bring back the hidden vertices. And just as easy as that, we have selected all of the vertices from the door. And now we need to separate this door into a new object. So press P to open up the separate menu and click on selection to create a new object. In the outline at the right, you can see that you now have an object named carbody and an object named carbody.001, which is the door. So let's go ahead and rename this one to door. And going back into the solid mode by pressing Z, pressing tab to go back into the object mode, you can see that we now have two separate objects. If we press Alt and A to deselect all, you can kinda see a panel gap, but if you go ahead and zoom in, you can see that there's no gap at all, so we still need to go ahead and make some adjustments. As this method is called Solidify method, we of course need to go ahead and add in a Solidify modifier to the door. So go ahead and select the door, head over into the modifiers tab by clicking on the blue wrench, click on add modifier, head over to generate, and click on Solidify. In the statics, we only need to go ahead and select only rim so that we're not going to fill in the back faces. And looking at this now, we have only made things way worse, but it's actually an easy fix.
By the way, I have something really awesome for you before we continue. If you're enjoying my Blender videos, I actually have a community called Low Poly Garage. Not only all of my courses are available there, but I'm also very active in the community myself, which means that you can share your projects and not only get reviews and answers from the community, but also personal answers and reviews from me. I am also sharing a lot of project files, blueprints and other resources to help you improve. So if this sounds like something you would be interested in, then go ahead and check out the first link inside of my description.
So select the door and go back into the edit mode, and what you want to do next is to add in supporting edge loops to all of the outline vertices. Starting on the right side right here, with Ctrl and R, enable the loop cut function and hover with your mouse over any edge inside of these faces right here. Then press left click, and as we have added in some edges, we can now go ahead and slide this loop cut, and we want to align this loop cut to the right side. So let's go ahead and press E for the align tool, and as the right vertex right here got red, all of these vertices right here will get aligned to the right side. So let's go ahead and move this all the way to the right side, but make sure to leave a little bit of a gap and do not move it all the way to the right side like this, and then press left click to apply the loop cut. If you now already go ahead and go back into the object mode, you can see that this is now looking way better. So of course you also need to go ahead and add this in to all of the other outline vertices. After doing this, the front door is already finished, and if you go ahead and zoom in into this area again, you can see that this is already looking a little bit better. But of course right now only the front door has a Solidify modifier on it and the rest of the car body has not. And to make the gap look perfect, you of course also would need to go ahead and separate the hood from the rest of the car body, add in the Solidify modifier and add in the supporting edge loops. Alright, so after applying the Solidify modifier to the hood and to this part of the car body, we can now go ahead and really take a look on the panel gap that we have created. And although you do not really have a gap between all of these parts right here, if you go ahead and zoom out, it really does look like a car panel gap, and now you saw how easily you can go ahead and add them in. The second method that we're going to cover in this video is called the Bevel method. To showcase this method, we're going to recreate this T intersection of the panel gap. To do this, go back into the edit mode of the car body, and the first thing you need to do is to duplicate the vertices from the beginning of the car panel gap. As we have a T intersection, we have 3 beginnings, a beginning right here, at the top right here and at the bottom right here. And if we take a look on the blueprint from the side view, we can see the T intersection right here. So therefore we need to select this vertex right here, and then this vertex right here, as these 3 vertices right here mark the beginning. Then press Shift and D to duplicate these vertices and press right click to leave them at the same place. And then press P to again open up the separate menu and click on selection. Press Tab to go back into the object mode, press Alt and A to deselect all, and then go ahead and again select the car body and press Tab to go back into the edit mode. As this method is called the bevel method, we of course to go ahead and add in a bevel, and we're going to add in a bevel to off the edges on the car panel gap. So let's go ahead and press 2 to go into the edge selecting mode, or you can also select the edge selecting mode at the top right here. Then select this edge right here, with Control this one right here, then with Control again all the edges up to the top, and with Control all the edges down to the bottom. Then with Control and B we can go ahead and add in the bevel. And if you go ahead and move your mouse, you can increase or decrease the size of the bevel, and you don't want to have the bevel too big or the bevel too small. So let's go ahead and increase the bevel to around here, and scroll up your mouse wheel once so that you go ahead and add in 2 segments. Once you're satisfied with the size of the bevel, go ahead and press left click to apply it. Now in the next step, we need to go back into the object mode, so press Tab and go ahead and select the vertices that you have separated before, and then with Shift the car body and press Ctrl and J to join these objects back together. Press Tab to go back into the edit mode, press 1 to go into the vertex select mode, and if you zoom in into this area right here, you can see that the black vertex right here is the vertex that we have separated before, and that because of the bevel, this vertex right here has moved. And to bring this vertex back to its original place, let's select this vertex and then with Shift the vertex that we have separated, and then press M and click on At Last to merge it back together. Then of course we also have to do the same at the bottom right here. Let's select this vertex right here and press numpad period to zoom in right here, rotate your view a little bit, and then again select this vertex at last, press M and click on At Last. Then we have one more vertex at the top where we have to do the same, and as this is looking like a mess, I will quickly go ahead and disable the subdivision surface modifier, then go back and zoom in into this area right here, and we need to spot the vertex that we have separated, and it's this one right here. So therefore we first need to select this vertex, and we can also select this vertex right here, and then we'll Shift At Last the vertex that we have separated. Then we can go ahead and press M and click on At Last. Alright, like this, we now again have the topology that we had before, and one more thing that we need to add in to off the beginning spots is a cut with the knife tool. So press K to activate the knife tool, start the cut at this vertex right here, then set the cut tool right here and go back to this vertex right here and press enter to make the cut, and go ahead and repeat the same step to off the other beginnings. And now we can actually go ahead and add in the car panel gap. So go back into the edge selecting mode and select all of the inner edges. And to create the panel gap, let's just go ahead and move these vertices in just a little bit. Again, do not go ahead and overdo the step. From this point right here, with Shift and Alt you can also go ahead and select all of the other outline edges. And if you've also deactivated the subdivision surface modifier, go ahead and make sure to activate it again. Then with these edges selected, press right click, click on edge crease, type in 1 and press enter. Press Tab to go back into the object mode and take a look on the car panel gap that you have created. Alright my kings and queens, I have just showed you 2 methods on how to create some car panel gaps. If you're now at this point interested in a complete step-by-step course on how to create a low poly or a high poly car in Blender, where we start by setting up the car blueprints, modeling the first car body parts and all of the details that the car has to offer, to making the final render at the end, you can go ahead and check out the first links inside of my description. Make sure to join the Discord community where you can go ahead and ask any 3D related question that you have. I wish you all the best for the future, and we will see us in the next video.